All right, welcome to the latest episode of Double OT with Yianni and Mark. Mark, of course, on the field at Progressive Field ahead of Game 1, now an hour away as we're taping this. First, Mark, before we get to our topics, just tell me the vibe there in Cleveland and how the Red Sox looked pregame.
Well, they obviously look loose. They were out here taking batting practice, kind of dancing around, having a good time, talking with a lot of the Indians players. We know the relationships that are in place there. So nobody looks nervous. They all look ready to go. They're prepared, and I expect to see a good performance tonight from the Red Sox.
All right, let's talk about our series predictions. I'll give mine first. I am saying Red Sox in 4. I know many are picking David Price to lose Game 2. I have the Sox winning Game 1 tonight with Porcello, winning Game 2 with Price, going back to Boston 2-0. I think Buchholz loses Game 3. Red Sox wrap it up in Game 4. I think the offense is too good, an advantage in starting pitching, and I think the bullpen will be just good enough to hold on the back end. What do you have?
Well, listen, I have plenty of reservations, okay? I'm worried about the starting pitching. I'm worried about the bullpen, but I'm going to pick the Red Sox in 5 games. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt here. They've pitched well. They've played well down the stretch. I like Price to finally get a playoff victory. It has eluded him. I think he'll win, and I think we'll go 5 games, and the Red Sox will come back here like we've seen them do in the past and win Game 5 and move on to the American League Championship Series. One of my reservations, though, is the closer, a big one. Are you, Yianni, worried about Craig Kimbrell and his performance?
I am worried about Craig Kimbrell because I think he goes into the postseason mechanically not where he should be. John Farrell talked about it last week. The last thing a closer needs, we know how important that position, like a kicker in football, it's probably 75% mental. And if his mechanics aren't right and his stuff isn't right, they weren't right going into the final week of the season, I don't know where his head's at. So if he, for some reason, blows Game 1, or gives up a run and they still win for whatever the case may be, I think that's a trickle-down effect. If he shuts the door tonight, I think he'll be fine. But if it starts out poorly, I think it's going to snowball and get ugly.
Yeah, I mean, Craig Kimbrell hasn't been good, really. I mean, he's been okay this season, but he hasn't played well, especially down the stretch. And in the playoffs where the games are tight, they need to do well from the closer. They need the closer to really perform. So it's going to be tough for the Red Sox to win games if Craig Kimbrell is coughing up games late. So we'll have to wait and see how he performs, how he looks if he comes out here. And obviously the Red Sox would love to have big offensive performances and not have to use him, but in the postseason, that's tough to do.
All right, let's talk about David Ortiz. We saw all weekend long all the ceremonies around Big Papi. He's kind of flown under the radar since then, trying to get in his postseason mode. Are you expecting heroics that we've seen from Papi in 04 and 07 and most notably 04 and 13 to return in 2016?
David Ortiz, Yianni, is very capable of having a big performance. Obviously, he's been great this whole season, so there's no reason to think he won't be great in the American League Division Series here, even at his advanced age. So we'll have to wait and see. Unfortunately, I'm getting kicked out here, so we're going to have to wrap up this show. But what are you going to do? I think David Ortiz is going to have a big series, and I expect him to play well.
Quickly, Patriots over the Browns 35-7. What do you have?
Patriots 28, Browns 21. They're closer than usual in these games. Closer than you think.
All right, good stuff, Mark. Thanks for joining us from Cleveland. We'll see you tonight on the news.
Family Day and Press Box. Please take
All right.